Call a meeting to order. This is Michigan City Port Authority Board of Directors meeting, Monday, October the 31st. And we're grateful for the attendance and thank everybody for being here. Our first order of business will be to approve or correct the October 17th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes to October
Did I have a second?
17th.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion second to approve the minutes as they have been published. Are there any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? Hearing none, those who favor the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The minutes are approved. At this point in our agenda, we always give our guests an opportunity to address the board. And I know that representatives of the Yacht Club and their associates are here. So I suppose, Pat, are you the spokesman this evening?
Yes, I'd like to say thank you very much for considering the proposal that we have submitted to the Port Authority and for your time in considering it, and I'm sure that you have given it all the consideration it deserves, and we hope we can go forward with you and have a good relationship and have a lease agreement as we have suggested. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Other members, other guests, have anything they'd like to say on this subject? If not, on any other subject? Now that we've heard Mr. Donahue's request and statement, the board knows they've spent quite a bit of time on this. There's been a lot of conversation and a lot of working together, down to the fact that we had an executive session just for that subject a week or so ago. And now it's time to vote. So what's the board's pleasure?
President, we talked a lot about this subject, and we did talk a lot more about the subject in our executive session. And I think we all expressed our feelings on this whole thing very intimately. And I think, I know for one that I've come to the conclusion after all the discussion we had, and I make a motion that we reject this proposal by the Yacht Club to go from our existing lease of approximately $1,175 down to the $100 that they suggest. So I make the motion that we reject this policy.
So your motion really is that you move to have the lease stand as it is.
That's
without
correct.
modification. That's your motion?
That is my motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Board, do you have comments or questions? Board, do you have comments or
I
questions?
have a comment. The comment I'd like to make is there's nothing better than we would like to do than to make this restaurant work down here in some way or other. But at this point in time, in my opinion, I don't know how others will, I know how some of us feel, but I think that the people that own that business now, that took it over, and the holding company and so forth and so on, if they are in a position to be able to make an offer to the Yacht Club, and for us to hold on to the lease that we've got right now, I would very much appreciate seeing that happen. I think we all want to make a success out of this restaurant, and also a success out of the Yacht Club. It's in all of our best interest. So that's just a statement I'd like to make.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Board, any other board members have something they'd like to say? Any other comments from the board? Hearing none, Mrs. Colicki, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Manner?
What was the motion again to,
Motion,
The motion is to leave the lease stand as is.
I vote yes.
Mrs. Mears?
Yes.
Mr. Messina?
aye.
Mr. John, no, sorry. Sam Ferguson?
Aye.
Aaron?
Aye.
John Haynes?
Aye.
And it is 6 in favor of leaving the lease the way it is.
6 in favor, none opposed. The president didn't vote because the president only votes to break ties, and that's the last vote to be cast if there is a tie. So, the motion to leave the lease stand unmodified and stand as it is has been approved. And sorry, Pat, it didn't work out.
Thank you for your consideration and work on this. We appreciate it. And we'll go forward with what we've got and hope that it will benefit everybody.
But as Mr. Manor noted, there are and there will be lots of opportunities for the Yucca 11 to Port Authority to be singing the same song, working together. This issue doesn't change that.
I'm sure it doesn't. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Frame, may we have the Harbor Master's report, please?
Well, as you may have noticed, it's October 31st, and we're down to the last few boats out here. There's a little over a dozen out there. You also may have noticed a contingent of DNR officers here. Last year, they did some fall training with their boats, and they're doing it again this year, so they'll be here most of the week. And they rotate the various officers through so they can get boat certified and all that for next year. We're continuing to raise docks and starting to put de-icers in. We've about finished taking off any extensions that we've had out there. But since the water level's up, we've been raising the docks to get them up away from the ice when that eventually shows up. And also the park department has been working on a new master plan for down here. And I believe they've just about got their final product, and they expect to vote on it at a park board meeting coming up in November. If that goes through, we'll probably see some traffic changes down here. I think they want to make most of the roads 2 ways and add some parking and rearrange some parking. Though my last information was they probably wouldn't do any construction till after Labor Day of next year, since it's already November. And by the time they approve it and then start putting things out for bids, you're getting kind of late towards next season. So I'll keep you updated on that as I learn. But from what I saw in the draft report, I didn't see anything really adverse from our operation. So hopefully it'll work out. I like the notion of additional parking places. So. And aside from that, that's about all I know at the moment, unless anybody has any specific questions on anything.
just further clarification on the park department master plan. Preliminary came out about 6 to 8 weeks ago, and we were able to take a look at that. From your knowledge, has there been significant changes from that one to this one?
Didn't look like anything significant. We did a little, the last time we were talking, we did a little massaging to the way you get in and out of the lot that we use on the other side.
Okay.
But yeah, nothing major.
Thank you.
Yes?
I know last year you did this finger piers out here, the 100 finger piers, and resealed those. Looks like it held up real good over the summer and spring. Any plans on doing any of the other ones prior to the spring?
Any of the other docks?
Any other docks you're doing fingers?
Probably not the docks down here. We're do some of the electric right behind the office here, and the handrail on the side that's currently wood post. We're going to clean that all up, straighten it up. We're going to extend some slips at Trail Creek that are currently 20 foot. We're going to bring them up to 25 feet. And then we're going to do some work over at Sprague's where some of those docks need repair and floats need replaced. Did you have anything specific down here you were thinking
No,
of?
I just noticed how nice these were along the,
Yeah. If we run across something, we'll try to work it in, but I don't have any specific plan for any of them
just
currently.
curious.
Any other questions? Yes.
Yeah, this is probably an appropriate time for me to talk about, I was gonna talk about this master plan.
Oh, sorry, Bruce.
No, you're not, no, you've got a lot more information than I've got. I just went to the park board meeting. At that meeting, the public input session was the first of 3 that they're gonna have before they do this. Next week will be the second. My only question was, Wednesday, that'd be Wednesday night, this Wednesday night, my only question to you or Sam was, I will be attending that meeting, is there anything in the public session input that you would like for me to bring up? If not, that's fine.
Well, there will be some things.
Okay.
And I agree with you, Bruce. Jim has shared with me what he had, and that's the only input I've had into it. But one of the things, Joe, is really important to me at this point, is that we've been working for the last 3 years, trying to get our property lines established and getting our property deeds all squared away and in current legal form. There's probably going to be some property exchange in this park department program. And in that we've already spent the money we've spent, I would like for the city to pay for our new deeds and our new property descriptions that are going to be impacted by this change. I think there's going to be some property exchange before we're finished, isn't it, Kim?
It's possible.
So some of those deeds and property descriptions are going to be subject to modification, and I think it's appropriate to ask that the City and Redevelopment Commission take care of that for us.
Well, in that light, I would like to maybe talk to you after this meeting, and you can give me an idea of exactly, you or Tim, either one, exactly how many deeds and how much, some cost figures, what this is gonna cost and everything, and I can take it to the park board next week, or this Wednesday, actually, if you want me to.
Yeah, I think we should. And, Mrs. Plicky, could you include that in the minutes, please?
Sure.
Is there anything else?
I've been looking, I have a couple of questions. I've been looking at the Trail Creek Improvement Project list. And I was curious if any of those projects will like lap over or be, included as part of the, master plan.
For the park down here?
Well, it's a list of varying particulars. So, for instance, let's see here, I read about the seawall replacement. I'm just curious if any of those projects are going to be, included in the master plan. And also, I believe it's the west little lot there, the grassy lot, where it's been talked about possibly for parking for maybe the yacht club, and is that part of it as well?
That is.
Okay.
Some of the other stuff, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'll take a look at it afterwards,
Yeah.
and I can tell you for sure.
Anything else, Mrs. Mayor? Any other questions of the harbor master? Okay, thank you for your report. Mrs. Pilecki, may we have your report, please?
First of all, remember that our only meeting in November is November 14th. On the green and white, it says the 2016 winter statistic. That this is what we have done this year.
Wait till I'll get it right.
This one. Just the teacher.
Okay, thank you.
This one. did for this year for winter. That we had 196 power boats and 52 sailboats, and that's only because the water's up. Those could all be taken away from us very swiftly.
In your estimation, will there be any additional winter storage trickle in?
There may be one or two, but this is pretty much it
Okay.
up to date. And it shows, you know, how many we had for 20 for inside, outside storage, we had 90. Inside of the racks, we have 56 people. Covered racks, we have 4. Outside racks, we had 6. Hold on trailers, we have 26 and 46 people that had service only, that we serviced their boats and then they took them home. If there's any questions on it?
Maybe how does this compare to last year, Mrs. Plunkett?
Well, to the next sheet.
Oh.
It's the 2016 winter storage comparison chart. Yeah, we have from 2013 to 2016, and it's going up every year. Like this is like this year, a lot of them are the sailboats that's making a difference. And it shows you 2013, we had a 10% discount, 2014, 25%, no discount in 2015 or 2016, and this year we've got a huge amount for.
That's good.
And then there's the last one for winter storage. And it shows that these are just new customers for winter storage, that we have a total of 53. And that they're new for 2016. And also it says, shows the length of the boat, and if they're a sailboat or power boat. Any questions?
Yeah, the comment, I see the Freedom Boat Club group stored their 2 vessels with us.
And the last one I have is the new customer listing, which we have 30 new customers for 2017, which is 4 more customers than we had last year for 2016
At this time.
at this time. And most of them are the 35 and 40-foot slips.
It's a nice report, Mr.
Kristen makes up the report, she does a very good job on it.
Roy, do you have questions of Mrs. Flicky?
Maybe not a question, just more of a general comment. I always love to see these reports, and I think it's really cool because we have them in my head. This is a thought that I had on my way here. It's something that maybe we can look at in the next year. We use a lot of paper and consume a lot of paper, and I don't know if there's a solution for this right now, but maybe some way of us going more digital with everything as a board. Just as in, I think a consumption paper, and most of it will keep for a while, but then it also will help on storage wise too. Just a thought. I don't know if you guys have ideas, or whether we do Chromebooks or iPads or something like that. That would just keep us from the amount of paper we use. Just a thought, because we get a lot of reports.
Thank you.
That's amazing, that comes from the youngest member of the room. Good idea, good idea, that's the future.
Any other comments, questions of Mrs. Flicky? Thank you for your report. Mr. Garrett, may we have the budget and financial oversight report?
Sure can. Just as you see, every bill's presented in front of you. I'm going to touch on 4 of the bills on here, which total a vast majority of this. So the First one I'm gonna touch on is about 3/4 of the way down, and it's for $11,755.15. This is for repairs for the floats and at Spray Point. And then if you go one above that for $1,866.85, this is just lawn and maintenance for the Lao. And the very top second or third item down for $1,941.84. This is for trash removal. And the one right below that for $2,523.85 is for some Wi-Fi towers, some repairs and stuff on that, printing, phones, etc. So that totals a pretty big majority of this $24,252.73. So if there are no questions, I make a motion that we pay our bills as presented.
Second?
I have a motion second to pay our bills as they have been presented. Do we have questions from the board? Questions? Hearing none, those who favor the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. We pay our bills.
The second thing I have is 2 weeks ago now, at our previous meeting, we all received the budget for proposed budget for next year. We did take into account the changes for the 4% raise that we voted on last week. And we just got a little creative and just took a little from here, a little from there, just to account for that. The bottom line stays exactly the same. And if we have any questions or anything, I can answer if anyone had any from previously.
Any changes on the revenue side from when we talked? Doesn't look like it.
Nothing at this point, I don't think anyways. I also have, these are just,
Okay, here.
which I don't think anyone got last time, so I
They
just.
got them, it's supplement one.
Okay, here's the revenue from previous, just in case you need one, I have extra, so. But if there are no questions, I make a motion that we approve our budget for the 2017 year as presented.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the budget set as it has been presented. Those who favor the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The budget's approved. Aaron and staff, good work. I think you got a good budget for next year. You have anything else?
That is all.
Okay, Mr. Manor?
Yeah, the only thing I have is, of course, which I stated before about the, where am I here? Oh, the Park Department Master Plan. Yeah, we've already talked about that. The only other thing I had was, I don't know if this was in the paper or not, I don't get the paper, but the WPA work study has been approved by the Redevelopment Commission for the walls and for the greenhouse. So that's been approved and they're going to pay for that, and I don't know if there's anything coming after that or not. So it's been approved by the Redevelopment Commission.
You remember what the greenhouse thing is? Is it to rehabilitate or?
Oh, no, they're gonna redo it.
Okay.
Yeah. They're gonna redo it. That's the way I understand it.
I believe that's right.
Yeah. It's repairs, is what it is. And anybody that's interested in golf, the golf fees for 2017 are out now. You can pick them up off the internet. So they agreed to the golf fees for 2017. And that's basically all I have.
Board, do you have questions of Mr. Manor? Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Manor. Mr. Ferguson, do you have anything on finance, master plan and special projects?
Nothing to report.
Mr. Messina, Board of Communications and Special Events?
Probably in my travels here the last couple of weeks, I've run into a lot of the current boaters that I know from down here, and they've all said it was a pretty nice summer. Appreciated everything that, knowing that I'm on the board, that took taking place down here. Also wanted me to say the freeze on the slip rental for future year, or next year at least, and holding its own was appreciated. So we do know that. That's all.
In terms of port operations and marina personnel policy, I have one that's kind of unique, but nice, that I just want to share with the board. I want to pass this around. I'm sure that people near my age recognize the similarity between this picture and the one that came out of Times Square, New York City, at the end of World War II. But while you're passing it around, try to figure out who it is.
I didn't even look. I just saw somebody kissing.
One of our employees is in that picture.
Tim,
Turn it around. You can turn it around.
I didn't take a look, did you?
See that again?
Oh, come on, you guys.
well, let's see.
I didn't take a closer look.
You're the only one that cast it.
Huh?
You're the only one that cast
Well, I'm older than they are.
Is it Dan?
No, that's it.
That's Dan and his wife.
Is it? Hey, look, it's hard to tell.
I said Dan, but he's shaved,
Yeah, that might be it.
and he's wearing an officer.
I think I'm used to this being.
I just thought the board would enjoy seeing that.
You know, you talked about the World War II or the Times Square picture that emulates. I think that's the term. In Sarasota, Florida, right down by the marina, right as you get into the waterway, there's a great big statue of that Times Square with those Times Square people. And it's been there for quite a while. It's huge. Must be 30 feet tall at least. It's kind of cool.
Well, the pictures remain famous for 70 years.
Wow.
Mrs. Mayor, advertising and public relations report.
Nothing to report.
Okay, and is the board to understand that, at least for the most part, our 2017 advertising has already been purchased and okay, all right. Board, do you have questions of Mrs. Mayor? If not, Mr. Zachman, may we have the attorney's report, please?
Certainly. The city has asked the Port Authority, it's actually the city, the fire department, the Board of Public Works and Safety, if they could affix, they're called safety throw rings along Port Authority property from Trail Creek, the general area beginning at the Coast Guard Station, and then ending at the Franklin Street Bridge. And to that end, I worked with Amber LePage, the city attorney, to come up with a license agreement and a memorandum of understanding, which I passed out before the meeting commenced. This memorandum of understanding and license agreement essentially provides that the Port Authority will allow the city to affix these throw devices. But they will retain complete ownership, complete responsibility. The Port Authority will have no obligation whatsoever related to the use and maintenance, repair, anything having to do with these safety throw devices. The agreement provides that if, in the opinion of the harbor master, that there is a safety concern or damage to Port Authority property, that the harbor master can bring that to the attention of the city. They'll have a reasonable amount of time, I believe it's 30 days in the agreement, to remedy the problem, or the license would be terminated. The city has to keep the Port Authority's property and its property, these safety throw rings, protected and in good order. There's a provision on any environmental concerns that may arise. Those again would be the city's responsibility. They will maintain the Port Authority property in good order and repair. Any damage that might occur to Port Authority property would be the city's responsibility to repair. And then there's an insurance provision. It's a very tight agreement. I saw the agreement that I believe it was the Army Corps of Engineers entered into with the city, and that thing was 12 or 14 pages if it was one page. So it's a very straightforward agreement and grant of a license. If the board would consider it, I know that the city is anxious to get these devices up. If Mr. President, if you want to bring this up for a vote at the next meeting, that would probably
What I'd like
keep
to
all
do
enough
is-
time.
I'd like for the board to have a chance to take it and read it, and it'll be on the agenda for what, the November the 14th meeting.
Fine.
But we need a firm action on it by that time.
We do. The Amber LePage indicated that she would prefer sooner rather than later, and I said that the next meeting would be on the 14th.
Okay, next meeting.
Comments?
Comment? If I might, has the harbor master been involved in whatever discussions
Oh,
you've
yeah.
had on this?
Yeah.
Do you have any other comment to make concerning this?
No, I don't think it'll be a problem. The ones they have, they got a grant. They're gonna put them out on the pier as well. And I haven't physically seen one yet, but apparently they come in a container.
Okay.
There's some type of alarm or break open the container, alarm goes off. So they're not likely to just get blown away or carried off, you know. The city, this started last fall, after some drownings last summer, and they're eager to try and help mitigate that situation. And this seemed like the easiest way to make some kind of difference.
Okay. My thought was I just wanted to hear you say that you've had your input on this whole subject. Nobody
Yes.
wants anybody to lose any more lives, but we want to make sure that the processes to maintain this is all, that we all agree on this stuff. Thank you.
Mr. Messina.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea too to have these devices. I've seen them at other ports, some that are real similar to them. And I know a few of them have arrived already, I believe, into the fire station. I don't know if it's possible to get a sample of one to have here at the next meeting, so everybody knows exactly what they look like. And
I think we can do that.
maybe to hold off and just explain them a little bit before we vote on it.
Yes,
Tim, does the grant that they got for this, will that cover, of course, they're gonna have to run electricity to these things, right?
I think they're battery operated.
They're battery operated?
Believe
Okay,
so.
all right. Answers my question.
Either battery or
Because I wanted
solar.
to make sure if electricity had to be run to them,
Yeah.
we weren't gonna bear the cost of that,
No.
so.
I think those kinds of questions are pretty well covered.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
proposal.
yeah, we'll go through.
And I might add, Joe, I read a lot of these things, and this is a good one. You did a nice job on it.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I have a question for our attorney, unless he has something else. You got something else?
Not yet, I can take the question.
In terms of us agreeing to stick with the lease we already have, in your opinion, where do you think it's going to go from here? Do you believe they will come back with a counteroffer? Or do you believe, I'm just asking for an opinion.
My sense is they probably will come back with a counteroffer. Dollar amounts, I wouldn't venture a guess, but I suspect they'll probably come back with a counteroffer.
Good point, Bruce. Anything else, Gordon? Mr. Zagman, I think you're not finished yet.
No, well, it's years gone by quickly. I was retained by the Port Authority at the beginning of this year. I'd like to thank the board for the opportunity to represent it. I've certainly enjoyed it. A very fine group of individuals who are genuinely dedicated to the Port Authority's mission. And I would like to continue working with the board and representing the board as its attorney. I proposed that instead of a one-year contract, that the board consider a 3-year contract. And the reason for that, there's primarily 3 reasons. I think one is the continuity that it brings. With each meeting I attend and each project that I do on behalf of the Port Authority, I learn more. And that is valuable experience. And it's something that if a new attorney comes in, there's always a learning curve. And it becomes, when an attorney is spending your money learning how to do your work, it costs you money. And it's an inefficient way to do it. So continuity is important. It buys you the experience that you've paid for. The second reason is that it promotes independence. A number of years ago in private practice, I was part of a team that undertook a corporate internal investigation. And one of the things that we discovered was that the outside attorney was on a year-to-year contract. And it seemed as though it was the renewal of the contract that was forefront on that attorney's mind. And so that attorney became more of a rubber stamp or a yes man to the board. And I'm not suggesting that anything of that nature has ever arisen here or ever would. But what you want is you want someone who is truly independent and can provide independent legal advice, rather than somebody who says, I don't want to ruffle the feathers because then I might not get my contract renewed. So a multi-year contract will help to promote that court of independence. And the third, and perhaps one of the more important factors, is it's truly a cost savings, because in my proposal, it's at the continued discounted rate of $135 an hour for outside work. My normal billing rate is $200 an hour, and I expect in 2017 that rate is probably going to go up. If you lock me into a 3-year contract, you've got that rate at $135 an hour for the next 3 years. And I don't like to toot my own horn, but I've been practicing for 25 years. I think I'm worth it. And I would be happy to extend the offer of the discounted rate, because I really do enjoy working with this group, and I enjoy the work. There's always something that comes up, and I find a challenge something that I like to take on. So with that, if the board would consider renewing my agreement for a 3-year term, I would be most appreciative.
Thank you, Joe. Yes, I'd like for the board to make a decision at this time regarding Mr. Zachman's contract at the same fee that we're now paying, and for a duration of 3 years. Do we have a board member with a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we renew his Joe's contract, our attorney's contract, for 3 years at the rate that was specified.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to renew Mr. Zachman's contract at the current rate of pay for a period of 3 years, starting January 1st, 2017. Any questions or comments? Yes.
Just a quick comment, if he doesn't want to toot his own horn, I guess I will. I was a little curious coming in, with him coming in from out of state, coming into our Port Authority, not knowing our business at all, and I've totally been impressed with him.
Thank you. I agree with you, Dan.
I also, quite frankly, have been a little leery this early part of this year, kind of watching Mr. Zachman a little more closely than I probably could have. But I've been impressed with the amount of work and the ferociousness that he has shown on a couple items, and I'm excited to have him signed up for 3 more years.
Thank you. Are there any comments? Other comments? If not, those who favor the motion to retain the services of Mr. Zachman, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. You didn't know you had so many friends.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Do we have any old business? We did have, it was the 19, it was the new budget, but we got that earlier in
Check
there.
that off the list.
Anything else? If not, it's been a productive and a good meeting, and appreciate everybody's involvement and their help. And we'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion, we adjourn. I'll second it.
We're adjourned. Thank you, board.